My sister cut me from her wedding, so I spent her big day on a private beach while her world fell apart. I was her rock through every crisis. Helped her move, paid her rent, and wiped her tears more times than I could count. Then came a text. Tough cuts. Hope you understand. No invite. No explanation. No seat. So I booked a 5-star resort, first-class flight, and vanished into paradise. While she walked down the aisle, I posted champagne selfies. By midnight, her wedding was in flames, the groom walked out, and my family was begging me to come home. But I was too busy living the life they cut me out of. I was sitting on my couch scrolling through emails when I saw a text pop up from my sister, Ashley. I tapped it open and read it once, then again, and then a third time just to be sure I wasn't misinterpreting it. Hey, just wanted to let you know the guest list is finalized and we had to make some tough cuts. Hope you understand. Love you. Tough cuts? I blinked, trying to make sense of the words. I wasn't a second cousin or an old neighbor, we weren't distant. I was her brother. Her only brother. I'd been by her side through every meltdown, every breakup, every late-night call when she couldn't stop crying. I helped her move when she lost her job. I paid half her rent once when she couldn't afford it. And now, when she's planning the biggest day of her life, I'm a tough cut? My stomach tightened. I just stared at the screen, rereading her message until it blurred. It felt like a joke, but there was no punchline. I grabbed my phone and called my mom. She picked up on the second ring, all chipper and casual. Hey, sweetheart. What's up? I didn't bother with small talk. I just got a message from Ashley, I said, my voice tight. She says the guest list is finalized, and I'm not on it. There was a pause, just long enough to confirm what I already knew. Oh, honey, she finally sighed, her voice switching to that familiar tone she always used when she wanted to make me feel like I was overreacting. It's just a wedding. Don't make a big deal out of this. Just a wedding? I swallowed the lump in my throat. Are you serious right now? I asked, my voice low and too calm for the anger building inside. Mom, I'm her brother. How am I not invited to my own sister's wedding? She let out one of those dismissive tisk sounds, like I was a child throwing a tantrum. It's not personal, she said. They had to keep it small and I cut her off. I just saw Ashley's post. She invited 150 people. Silence. Then a forced little chuckle. Well, you know how things are. Weddings are expensive. Maybe they thought you wouldn't mind sitting this one out. I stared at the wall, the anger in my chest curling tighter. Wouldn't mind. I said slowly. Mom, I've been there for her through everything. I helped her restart her life twice. I listened to her cry over Mark, over Tyler, over that jerk she met on Bumble. I was always there. And now I'm not even worth a damn chair at the reception. She sighed again, like I was exhausting her. Oh, stop being dramatic. It's just one day. You're overreacting. I laughed, dry, humorless, sharp. Overreacting? Sure. I already knew how this was going to play out. I'd get mad, she'd dismiss it. Ashley would give me some half-hearted apology later, and I'd be expected to let it go. That was the script. That was always the script. Not this time. Something cracked in me right then. If I wasn't good enough to be part of her day, then I sure as hell wasn't going to pretend I was. I hung up without another word and sat there for a few seconds, breathing in that betrayal. Then I opened my browser. If I wasn't going to be at Ashley's wedding, I was going to be somewhere a hell of a lot better. I wasn't about to sit around sulking while my family played dress up without me. If they wanted to act like I didn't matter, then fine, I'd show them what it really looked like when I stopped caring. I pulled out my laptop, opened a few travel sites, and started browsing for something far from home, somewhere warm, blue, and quiet. I didn't even hesitate. Caribbean? Perfect. All-inclusive? Absolutely. Ocean view? Yes, please. I found a 5-star resort that looked like something out of a movie, private beach, spa treatments, palm trees swaying in the wind, and a suite with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the sea. I had always told myself trips like this were too expensive, too indulgent, too selfish. Not this time. This wasn't just a vacation. This was a statement. I booked the flight, upgraded to first class, and paid for the whole damn package with a smug little grin on my face. I wasn't just running away. I was reclaiming something they had stolen from me without a second thought. As the confirmation email hit my inbox, I leaned back in my chair and exhaled. The more I thought about it, the better it felt. This wasn't about being spiteful, it was about finally choosing myself. For years I had been the family's emotional airbag, the dependable fixer, the one they leaned on whenever life hit too hard. And what did I get in return? Cut from the most important day in my sister's life like I was an afterthought. So no, I wouldn't be in some banquet hall pretending everything was fine while Ashley waltzed around in white. I'd be on a beach, drink in hand, letting the waves wash away years of being taken for granted. And the best part? They'd see it. Oh, I was going to make sure of that. The morning of Ashley's wedding, while everyone back home was probably getting their hair done and snapping pre-ceremony selfies, I was stepping onto a first-class flight with a boarding pass that felt like a middle finger wrapped in gold foil. The flight attendant greeted me with a smile, took my carry-on, and handed me a glass of chilled champagne before I even sat down. I stretched my legs out, reclined my seat, and let the moment sink in. No family drama. No fake smiles. No small talk with people who couldn't be bothered to include me. Just quiet luxury and the hum of the plane taking off toward paradise. Somewhere over the Atlantic, I took a photo, legs extended, champagne glass in hand, blue sky out the window, and posted it to Instagram with the caption, "Guess I got cut from the guest list, but I think I'll survive." The reaction was immediate. Cousins dropped laughing emojis. Old friends messaged me saying things like, "Bro, where even are you?" and "Okay, now you're just showing off." My Aunt Lisa, the only person in our family with common sense, commented, "Good for you. Should have taken me with you." I chuckled, feeling the tightness in my chest begin to loosen. For once, I wasn't the one left out. I was the one in control. No one could guilt me. No one could demand I show up, smile, and pretend like everything was fine. They made their choice, and so did I. Then, like a cherry on top, my mom sent a string of texts. First, "Where are you?" Then, "Are you seriously missing your sister's wedding over this?" And finally, "You're being petty." Petty? I smirked. I hadn't even started yet. I responded with a single photo, white sand, turquoise water, a perfect blue sky, and then I turned off my phone. I wasn't interested in being their emotional sponge anymore. Not today. Not this week. For the first time in years, I wasn't bending to make everyone else comfortable. I was finally choosing my own peace. And man, it felt incredible. By the time their big day rolled around, I was already 2 cocktails deep, sprawled out under the sun next to an infinity pool that looked like it melted into the ocean. My phone was lighting up like a Christmas tree, vibrating nonstop on the table beside me. At first, I ignored it completely. Let them panic. I figured it was just more messages from my mom trying to guilt me or someone begging me to be the bigger person. But then I noticed the names Jake, Uncle Rob, even Ashley. Something had clearly gone off script. Eventually, curiosity got the better of me. I picked up the phone and scrolled through the flood of messages. The first one that caught my eye was from my mom. "Call me. It's an emergency." An emergency? At the wedding? I rolled my eyes. Then Jake's message popped up. "Dude, you are not going to believe what just happened." I sat up in my chair, drink in hand, and started reading everything like I was binging a drama series. Apparently, Ashley and the groom got into a massive fight during the reception. According to Jake, it wasn't some quiet disagreement in the corner. It was a full-blown screaming meltdown in front of everyone. Then the groom just walked out. Left the venue. Gone. I nearly choked on my drink. But it didn't stop there. Uncle Rob and my dad got into a shouting match, accusing each other of ruining the family name. Grandma cried. The venue cut the bar early. It was a full-scale collapse. A disaster. I leaned back in my lounge chair, grinning like a villain in a movie. Ashley didn't want me there because I was apparently too much trouble, but the moment I wasn't around, the whole thing fell apart like wet tissue paper. And now suddenly I was the one they all needed. Jake's last message sealed it. "Bro, you dodged a bullet." I chuckled, sipped my drink, and whispered to myself, "Best decision I've ever made." It was almost poetic how fast everything flipped. One minute I was the expendable sibling and the next I was apparently the missing puzzle piece holding the family together. My phone wouldn't shut up, calls, texts, voicemails, one after another. Ashley was messaging nonstop. "Please answer. I need you." My mom sent 3 texts in a row. "You need to come home. Emily is devastated. This is not the time for one of your tantrums. Your sister is heartbroken. The family needs you." Oh, now I mattered? Now I was essential? I sat there staring at my screen, the irony sinking in with every vibration. The same people who decided I wasn't important enough to sit at their table were now tripping over themselves to get me on the phone. I didn't even bother responding to most of it. But I did shoot off one final message to Ashley before I shut it all down. "Sorry. I'm a little busy enjoying my overreaction. Hope the wedding was fun." Then I blocked her number. Blocked my mom too. Even blocked Jake, just in case he got dragged into the guilt trip campaign. I turned on Do Not Disturb, waved over the bartender, and ordered another drink. Let them spiral. Let them stew. For once I wasn't going to let their chaos pull me under. They made their choice when they left me off that list. And now I was making mine, peace over guilt, silence over drama, a strong cocktail over their endless noise. The next morning I woke up to the sound of waves brushing the shoreline and sunlight pouring through the open balcony doors. I stretched out in the king-sized bed, took a deep breath, and for a peaceful moment, I forgot my family even existed. Then I glanced at my phone. Even with most of them blocked, I still had over 20 missed calls from unknown numbers and a handful of voicemails that somehow slipped through. I grabbed my mimosa, walked out onto the balcony, and hit play on the first one. My mom's voice came through frantic and breathless. I don't know what you think you're doing, but this isn't the time for one of your stunts. Your sister is devastated. We need you. This family needs to pull together right now. Delete. The next voicemail was Ashley. I don't understand why you're doing this. You're my brother. I need you. Please just call me back. Delete. Then came one that actually made me laugh, Jake whispering like he was hiding in a closet. Dude, just a heads up. Mom and Aunt Lisa are talking about showing up at your place when you get back. Also, Grandma keeps saying the wedding was cursed because you weren't there. It's hilarious. That one I saved. I glanced down at my breakfast, fluffy pancakes, tropical fruit, and a mimosa so perfect it could blind someone, and snapped a photo. I posted it with the caption, starting my day stress-free. Hope everyone back home is doing okay. Petty? Maybe? But they deserve to feel what I had felt, unimportant, forgotten, left out. I scrolled through the blocked messages, smiling at the dozens of missed calls. Then I ordered another mimosa and leaned back in my chair, watching the horizon blur into the sea. They were all back home, scrambling to make sense of a ruined wedding. I was here in paradise, finally tasting what it felt like to choose peace over obligation. I was lounging under a shady cabana, the breeze brushing over me like silk, when my phone buzzed again. This time it was a text from Melissa, the only cousin in the family with a functioning brain. Okay, I know you're mad, and honestly you deserve to be, but you have to hear what happened after the wedding. Call me. You're going to love this. I raised an eyebrow, took a sip of my drink, and after a moment of hesitation, hit dial. She picked up on the first ring, practically yelling, "Oh my God, you're finally answering. Are you sitting down?" I looked around at the palm trees, the ocean stretching out like glass, the cocktail in my hand. Yeah, I'd say I'm in a pretty good place for whatever this is. She took a deep breath, giddy with excitement. So after the groom left, Emily absolutely lost it. I'm talking screaming, sobbing, throwing things, full meltdown. People were trying to calm her down, but she wouldn't stop. And then, get this, Aunt Lisa made a comment about how all of this might have been avoided if you had been there. I blinked. Wait, what? Melissa laughed. Yep. She said you've always been the one to talk Emily down, to clean things up, and maybe if you'd been there, the groom wouldn't have walked out. I nearly spit out my drink. The same family that didn't want me at the wedding was now blaming me for not being there to save it? Melissa continued, barely able to contain herself. So then your mom snaps back and tells Lisa she's being ridiculous and they start arguing. Grandma jumps in, says Emily brought this on herself for offending the universe by cutting out her own brother. I swear she used the word cosmos. I was howling. No way. Way, Melissa confirmed, giggling. Then Grandma gave Emily a speech in front of everyone. If you had treated your family better, you wouldn't be standing here alone in your wedding dress. I had to set down my drink before I dropped it. I leaned back, a slow grin stretching across my face. Wow, that's beautiful. Melissa wasn't done. And then your mom tried calling the groom's family to fix things, and his mom apparently just smiled and said, "This is your issue now." I exhaled, shaking my head in disbelief. So where does that leave Emily? Melissa sighed. Still crying. Still blaming everyone but herself. She's talking about some backup plan, but honestly, she's toast. This one's not coming back from the dead. I chuckled, took a long sip from my drink and said, "You know what the best part is?" What? She asked. I don't care. Melissa burst into laughter. Honestly? I don't blame you. Karma did the heavy lifting for once. That it did, I said, smirking. Thanks for the update, Mel. No problem, she said. And for the record? You did the right thing. I hung up feeling lighter than I had in years. They wanted a wedding without me, and they got exactly what they asked for, a train wreck. I lifted my glass, made a quiet toast to the universe, and smiled at the sound of waves rolling in. The next morning, I woke up to the scent of salt in the air and sunlight spilling across the room like honey. For the first time in years, I felt weightless. No guilt, no anxiety, no emergency text from my mother that secretly meant I was being summoned to fix someone else's disaster. I stretched, ordered room service, pancakes, eggs, fresh mango, and another mimosa, and for a few peaceful minutes I just sat on the balcony soaking in the moment. Then out of curiosity I turned my phone back on. Big mistake. Within seconds, notifications swarmed like flies. My mom's message popped up first. You need to stop acting like a child and call me. Then Ashley, I can't believe you're doing this to me. You're so selfish. Another from my mom. This isn't funny. Emily is heartbroken. Do you even care? One from an unknown number, probably Aunt Lisa. We need to fix this family before it's too late. I sighed, shaking my head. It was almost impressive how fast they went from pretending I didn't exist to expecting me to be the family savior. Then came a new text from Melissa. Okay, I get that you're ignoring everyone, but just a heads up, your mom's trying to organize a family meeting when you get back. That made me laugh out loud. They really thought I was coming back like nothing happened. Like I'd let them guilt trip me into playing nice and sweeping all this under the rug. Yeah, no. I typed back, thanks for the warning, but I won't be there. Melissa, wait, what do you mean? Me, I'm extending my trip. They wanted to cut me out, so I'm cutting myself off altogether. I could practically hear her gasp from across the ocean. A few seconds later, she replied, okay, that's iconic. Tell me everything when you get back, whenever that is. LOL. Grinning, I picked up my laptop, clicked through my reservation, and extended the trip by another full week. No family, no drama, no tearful apologies or fake resolutions. Just me and the sea. I'd finally found peace, and the best part was they couldn't touch it. Before heading out to the beach, I sent one final message, group text to my mom and Ashley. Oh, now you want me around? Sorry. I'm too busy enjoying my overreaction. Have fun cleaning up your own messes. Then I blocked their numbers for good, closed my phone, and let the sun warm my face as I sipped another drink. No guilt. No tension. No regrets. Just quiet, clarity, and the best decision I've ever made.